Oh, it's compulsory at this point. As we head into 2023, and we look at the best of 2022. So let's hit it. Hey guys, it's model making time, and today we're having a look at my top 5 models of 2022. Not necessarily on the kit itself, but more so on how I feel it went during the course of my production of the kit and my assembly, painting, detailing, weathering, all that jazz, and just what I like the most. So stay tuned for that. Before we jump into the 5th best kit that I made this year, we're gonna have a bit of a big announcement. Now, you guys got me to the 1K sub mark this year. I feel blessed to have such a loving and kind community that has been fostered during the course of my ventures here on YouTube. As a result of that, I decided to open up memberships to allow people to support the channel in an easy way through the YouTube platform. I want to reiterate that my full videos will remain for everyone to see. This is more for people who just want to support the channel, maybe get a bit more engagement through community posts, which I'll probably do more of just for sort of channel members. And I'm going to be doing it at 2 tiers. One is just, the standard rate, and then the other will be a higher rate, but it's only there if you want to support more. It's not an obligation, and you're not going to get more benefits to someone else. I'm trying to keep it as fair as possible. At the same time, this is a way for me to help pay for new models, new supplies, for me to test new things, and I wanted to make sure that it's worthwhile for everyone. So I did do some polls on this. I did polls on whether or not you guys would want the channel to remain in the same content, as you can see here. Overwhelmingly, you guys were really positive in the format that I've developed over the last year or so, and I can't be happier with the result. I really love that I do something a little bit different to I think what a lot of other YouTubers do by, I'm here, first of all, you seeing my face, I'm talking to you, but also I'm going through the history of the model kit and the kit history. I'm going through the history of the subject itself, of it hand swirling, just talking a bit more in general and going through the whole kit build itself. As an average modeler, I'm glad to have something that references what I wish I'd seen when I was getting into modeling. Someone who's not perfect, someone who does something really, average sometimes. Sometimes it's okay to cut corners if you feel that something's outside of your skill level and you just don't feel like doing it on this kit. So I'm really happy that you guys have enjoyed the styles that I've developed through this journey that we've been on together. I've been really self-conscious of doing sort of any social stuff. I'm not on social media myself personally anyway, and I've been sort of wanting to just grow on YouTube, but I'm starting to realise that maybe I should do Facebook-y stuff and Twitter, but I just find these platforms can sometimes be really, toxic. And member community posts are a really good way to talk to you guys. Ko-fi will be remaining though, so if you do want to do one-off donations or even do monthly donations through Ko-fi, that's absolutely fine. You've got the option now of doing it through memberships and also through the Ko-fi platform. It's entirely up to you, whatever's best, but most importantly, only if it's affordable. I'm making this content anyway, and I love you guys being here with me. So yeah, thank you so much for making 2022 the best year of my life for model making. It's been amazing meeting so many of you at model shows. I don't think you guys realise how much it means when you come up to me and say, oh my god, I love your content, oh your model show review is amazing, oh my god, I love what you did on that kit. It really does mean a lot, and I really appreciate it. So thank you. Also, there's a lot coming in 2023, including airbrush shenanigans, because I'm getting into that. Oh, and there's a lot more of me conquering. So there's all that to look forward to. But I guess we should get into my top 5 favourite builds of 2022. Kit number 5. My Airfix Spitfire. So this was the kit I did as part of my testing every brand of paint as a brush painter video. And well, it kind of really surprised me. It's a much older kit. I did it as part of the collector's edition boxing, and it kind of blew me away. I bought this one because it was pretty cheap, and the collector's box was a VHS. Looks really interesting because I've got into sort of VHS tapes at the moment, pushing my use. And I always loved the artwork of this kit as well, and I felt really happy to get such a gorgeous representation of this kit and have it built on my shelf. This kit is sort of pure Airfix in the sense it's all stuff under the horn ground, so it's humble paints, it's an Airfix kit, and there are some, without powders and some sister paints. It's pretty much just a Hornby Airfix humble product, and I thought that was really, really cool. Sort of a best of British kits. Yeah, I did definitely mess up the canopy on this one by having the pilot be slightly too tall, and I didn't feel like cutting him out because I felt like I did a really good job with him. But I mean, sometimes a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. Kit number 4. Arma Hobbies PZL TS11 Iskra. So I did this kit in the colour scheme of Blaue Shivani Iskri, and I still remember how to say that somehow. And this was a bit of an emotional build, so I built this a long time ago and did it before I had a real sense of how to do modelling, and just did it someone, you know, who bought a kit and went, I'm just going to slap some paint on, slap the bits together, and boom, we have a kit. So I did this kit sort of a challenge to myself of, you know, have I improved that much as a model maker? And yeah, I have a fine line to definitely way of what I can do now. I've improved so much more with them over the last year, but you know, it doesn't look that bad. When I last did this kit, I was in so much more of an unhappy place as well. So doing this kit now shows that I've transitioned to a much happier sense of self. I pride myself in showing all the flaws and difficulties in growth, and this kit definitely shows that. I was really happy with the outcome, and this sits in my cabinet and I see it almost every single day when I get out of bed, and I do love it. It's really cool. I feel really privileged to have seen the Blaue Shivani Iskri at the Malta Air Show, and I'll never forget it. And hey, it was my first Arma Hobbies kit, and I learned that Arma Hobby kits are actually amazing, especially for the price. I got this from Telford in 2021 actually. I think I only paid like £10 or something for it. It was 10, like 13, and like, it was cheap either way, and I'm thrilled with that. Kit number 3, Airfix's Fouga Magister. Another aerobatic team here, and this time it's the Silver Swallows of the Irish Air Corps. Yep, I said cool this time, of course. Thank you for everyone who corrected me in my Telford video. It's just an age-old habit that I've had literally since I was a child, where I say corpse rather than corp. I don't know why I do it. So this kit was another one where it was about development of skills, I think, and a new sense of self-worth that I discovered doing this kit. Now, as I sort of said, 2022 was a weird year for me in modelling, in the sense that I went from being someone who was doing this as a hey look, I like doing modelling on YouTube, to someone who went, actually, yeah, I really want to improve how I can do modelling, I want to try and do things better, I want to be a better modeller. And there's nothing wrong with being just exactly where you are, it's about having fun, and for me the fun now is pushing myself to be a better modeller. So this was one of the kits where I went, hey, I'm really going to try and nail this kit, I'm going to try to make it look as amazing as possible, particularly because I saw so many good examples of this kit at all the model shows I've been through throughout the last 2 years. So prior to this kit, it was always a case of it'll do rather than the thought, great, and this is a real step towards me doing detail in my kits. And I guess sort of a professional modeller, not that I'm a professional, but you know what I mean with the vibe of like, I'm going to smash this rather than it'll just do right. And I honestly can't believe how good this subject ended out. Like, oh my god, it looks so good. Now, whilst it's definitely with its inaccuracies as the kit itself, and I mean Hella's one is also just as bad, I don't think there's any fully accurate Fouga kits in 1/72 scale out there. It's definitely not a bad kit, and it goes together so nicely, especially for its age. It was a really fun time building this kit, and I'd definitely do it again. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing the Fouga every single year until I die, because that's just what I've ended up becoming. Kit number 2, RS Models Praga E35. So yeah, this one's a bit of a recent one, but I'm really proud of it. In fact, this shoot just sat over out on my windowsill, and I adore what I did for this kit. This kit was one I bought just on a whim at Telford. It was just on a shelf on its own. I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm legit, I'm going to do a biplane. At the same time, one of my friends, Captain BSE, had been telling me all about this new technique of using guitar strings in order to do rigging, something they've done for ages just because of our other hobbies. And, well, it really works. Like, don't watch the full video, but my gosh, like, it really works. It's definitely something I'm going to be continuing to do on other kits, biplanes and non-biplanes, because a lot of non-biplanes still had wires on, you know, particularly early 1930s models. But yeah, this kit, I think it looks amazing. It's perhaps one of, if not the best model I built this year. The vacuum full canopies look natural and kind of nice. The rigging still looks slightly amateurish, but still outstanding considering my previous efforts, and the confidence I have with inks has just flourished on this kit, and it makes it look so much more realistic rather than just a flat silver sheen, which it definitely shouldn't have. I'm so proud of myself in this video. Just ignore the fact that this part of my body goes out of sync during part of the video because I had like green lights on and I had to like separately chroma key this bit and this bit, and it just went out of sync at one point and it looked hilarious, like some avant-garde show. And I think another verse, I don't think I've done an RS model kit before, and I mean from that experience I definitely do it again. Editing me here, I didn't mention my Fiat G50 video, and I think I should have, because it was one of my favourite videos I did all year. It wasn't anything particularly special about this kit, I just really enjoyed it, and one of my favourite subjects that I've ever done, and the model looked really nice, especially as probably one of the last times I'll do modelling with a brush, so yeah, maybe I should have included that one, but go check out the video anyway. So kit number 1 is my Czech Magister Resin Fokker Machtrainer. This video was a massive project. I literally bought a Dutch language book and sat there one day with Google Translate on my phone and my laptop, and I was just like going through it and translating as much as I could and getting as much knowledge as possible to do an informational video on the Fokker Machtrainer, because there is so limited information out there. There is a Wikipedia page, of course, but it doesn't have anywhere near the knowledge that the two experts had who wrote the book. And this was another emotional build for me. For those of you who don't know, I was in a bit of a tricky situation a couple of years ago where I was kind of forced to just leave where I lived quite suddenly, and it meant leaving a lot of stuff behind. I basically sold my entire stash of model kits. Literally every single thing that I owned was just sold, and this was one of the kits that got sold. And I actually looked on the site where I bought this kit, and when I was looking to buy this kit, it actually came up with, you know, the time when I'd ordered this, and it was back before I had to move out, and it just made me think a lot about, you know, how far I've come as an individual, I think. So this model really meant a lot to me, and I promised myself that I was just gonna, you know, do the model kit and do the best I could with it and just prove to myself how much far I've come. Why am I getting upset? I don't know. So when I ordered it again, and then I looked on the order history and seeing the new one and the old one, it just, I don't know, it says a lot about the two separate eras of my life and how far things have changed and how happy I am today. That aside, the kit itself is such an unusual subject. And resin kits is something I've never done. This was my first resin kit that I ever built through all the way to completion. Though I did one before that was partial, it was never full, and I never painted one or did all the parts for one. And this was also one of the first times I let passion dictate what I really wanted to do for a video or two videos in this matter. And I learned that, hey, you don't like me for my personality, so it doesn't really matter too much what the subject is that I do, as long as I do a good job. In the end, there were a couple of issues with this kit. My weathering was not necessarily in the right places and was probably overdone quite a bit, and I did that to kind of hide some of the errors that I made. And there's definitely some bits where I got too much glue on it and I'm too scared to remove it, so it looks a bit clumpy and a bit clumsy. I also did the decals wrong because they're meant to be on like opposite wings, so underside on like one side and then on the top side on the other side, so like, you know, they flip over, it's the same, but I did my both on the same side. But you know, that was just an error, and by the time I'd put it on, I was like, I can't get these off, I'm not going to ruin it, no one's going to know, I'll just do it. So, you know, it is what it is. Also, another one, the vacuum form canopy, and it definitely looks much better than my CT4 did, so leaps and bounds. Now, a lot of Czech Magister resin kits, as you all probably know, or maybe don't know, are being produced now by KP models as injection molded kits. They're like having the kits sort of, I guess, reverse engineered and converted into injection molded kits. That's why you're seeing things like the new Fokker coming out. We've seen things like the S211 come out. You know, a lot of old resin kits are now coming out in these injection molded kits, either as limited runs or permanent runs, and hopefully this will be one that comes out eventually one day too, because it's such a fascinating and amazing subject. And if KP are watching, maybe I'll want one, so you can always send me one. Now, I mentioned at the start of the video that I have been doing some projects that involve airbrushing. You know, I may have basically finished a couple of models that have airbrushing in them, so that's something we're definitely going to be seeing more of in 2023. If you guys have any helpful hints or tips, let me know in the comments below. I know this video is a bit of a different video compared to what I usually do, but I mean, everyone seems to do these videos at the end of the year, and I think it's really cool to look back and go, oh, we did quite well on that, or Boy, that one was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? But thankfully, I don't think I have any absolute disasters this year. Actually, no, there is one, but it's not a video yet. It might be a video next year, but we'll see. Also want to give a shout out to a lot of amazing creators that I've met during the course of this year. Although, I want to say met, I mean pretty much online. The people like Moz Models, Captain BFC, Model Minutes, Plastic Alchemist, Kits and Bits, LPJ Models, the ever-present font of knowledge that is Sully, and many others. There's so many that I probably can't name them all today, but it's been lovely to meet you guys both on streams and off streams and just get to know you and see the wider scale of the modelling community. See how I did that scale? And hopefully I'll get to meet a lot of you at model shows this year because I'm hoping to travel further than I ever have before. So yeah, that's it for me in 2022. You're watching this in 2023 and I'm saying it, Happy New Year. I hope this year gives you everything you need, whether that's just to feel loved or work progression, or whether it's just staying exactly where you are right now because that's where you need to be. Whatever it is, I hope you get it. I hope 2023 is exactly what you need it to be. Right, love you all guys. See you later. Bye!
Thanks for watching the video, I really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button and notification bell to be notified of every new video on Mondays. You'll also be able to see me stream live on YouTube. Thanks again, I really appreciate it. Have fun modelling!